Thanks so much for being with us today. Would you mind just starting off by introducing yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Jesse. I'm design studio consultant here in Raleigh.
And what's your main job as the design studio consultant?
So essentially, as a design studio consultant, what we do is kind of guide clients through the design process of building your home. Obviously, you guys are in charge of selling on your end. So when they come in to see me, it's all sort of, fun and games of going through all of our interior, exterior finishes and selections. And we've got a really gorgeous showroom here where I have samples of literally almost everything that you can put into your house. So the entire day is typically spent kind of with me one-on-one going through every little aspect of your home.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I know the design studio is definitely a highlight of the build process. And typically, what happens is you'd meet with Nicole or I first to pick out what neighborhood you want to be in, what house you want to build, what lot you want to build it on, and pick out your structural options. Then our architectural team goes ahead and puts those plans together and delivers them to Jesse for your appointment at the design studio. So, Jesse, how can a client best prepare for their design studio appointment? What tools are available to them? How do you help them before they even step foot in the design studio?
Really good question. So I will say True Homes does a really, really great job at providing a lot of information up front to clients to prepare them for a design studio. One thing is going to be the options manual. That's going to be basically your price list and price guide for all of the levels of options that we can incorporate into your home. But the real bread and butter of preparation, I think, is our new True Style Guide that we recently just rolled out. That's a really, really fun interactive tool that kind of lets you go in and start picking selections and seeing everything that we do offer from Design Studio. With that, you can make notes about selections that will get sent directly to me. So that way, when I'm prepping for the appointment myself, I can go in and see what those selections that you've already kind of made and shown interest in are. I can read notes and go ahead and get answers to those questions prior to the start of the appointment. Um, Another big thing I would say as far as preparation is really going through your budget as well. Design studio is not the time when you want to come in and your budget's kind of blown out of the window because we're going to go over a lot of things that add, pricing and value into your home. So it's good to have a good concrete budget of what you want your purchase price to sort of be at, what you kind of want your mortgage to sort of be at. And that really will make an appointment go very, very smoothly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely heard probably two main themes. The first one being talking about pricing. I know sometimes clients get a little nervous that they're going to get to the design studio and all of a sudden their $350,000 house is now 425,000. They're like, wait, wait, wait. That's not what I signed up for. So it sounds like they get to know a lot about pricing and their budget before they even step in the design studio, so they have a good idea of where they're going to be at before they do those selections. And then second, that True Style Guide sounds like a really cool way to dig down and kind of make some of those selections in advance, make sure that you can kind of like digest some of the materials so you don't feel overwhelmed during your appointment.
Correct. And the True Style Guide is a really good budgeting tool as well. It's going to show you pricing of all the options. So that way, when you come in, you should really know kind of what levels you should be looking at in Design Studio. I know a lot of people can come in and they kind of get blindsided and distracted by all of the pretty objects. So yeah, it's really important to kind of focus on, the levels that you want to have into your home and kind of, hone in on what we can help you out with at Design Studio as far as achieving that.
Definitely. Yeah, the True Style Guide is really cool. It basically acts like an Amazon shopping cart. And
Yeah.
I could see if I was building a house, like I could spend a lot of time in there just like adding and subtracting things. So that's really, really cool that we have the opportunity to offer that to our clients. So obviously they've done a lot of prep work, they've done their style guide, they looked at pricing. How does an actual appointment go from like when they walk in the door, what do you expect?
Yeah, so usually kind of the start of an appointment, it's just kind of me familiarizing myself with a client. So after, a short meet and greet, we'll usually come into my office, kind of sit down. We always have snacks and refreshments available for everyone that come in. And yeah, it's just kind of to start off is getting to know the client, why they chose our community, why they chose their floor plan, how that works for their lifestyle. And from there, we usually do a sort of short contract review. So we get, refamiliarize ourselves with that information. And from there, we dive into it. And a typical appointment is around 4 hours long. So we don't want to waste a single minute of that. So after we go over your contract, we'll get into structural and kind of go over all of those CAD plans that do come from our CAD department, and those are specifically designed for the client. So it's good for them to kind of look at that because all they've got is the sales collateral that you guys provide. And so it's really, really magical for them to actually come in and see those finished CAD plans specifically for them. And from there, it can vary just depending on, the client, how they like to proceed. We can get all the technical stuff out of the way and kind of roll through all of the electrical and CPI and trim work and all of that. Most people are anxious to kind of go ahead and dive right into kitchen and flooring and bathroom. So if that's kind of the route that you're wanting to go with, I kind of give people that opportunity to kind of lead with what they want to do first. As long as we are, have the parameter set. If there's another appointment going on, we'll kind of work around that. But it's a lot of fun. Clients come in. We want it to be a really fun opportunity for them. Like I said, it's really nice to kind of see people's faces light up when they kind of go out into the kitchen area and they start seeing all the samples and things like that. So that's kind of what makes it kind of fun and magical for me, personally. But that's a typical appointment. We do a very thorough review at the end of everything. We usually take about a half hour to 45 minutes and literally go through all selections, list by list, and make sure there's no questions because going forward after design studio, you're kind of at the end of the road, and from there on, it's the build process. So this is kind of your last stop as far as getting all of those selections put in place.
Yeah, very true. And I've had the opportunity to shadow a couple of design studio appointments, and I think there's a lot of detail that goes into those, and you can be as detailed or as high level as you want to. But like with the electrical and the CPI, I mean, they're literally looking at like, do you want to move this light? Do you want to add this cable outlet? Like things like that that I don't think you get at most builders in our price point. So that's really cool that we take the time to make it completely unique to you. And, moving a light doesn't necessarily cost anything. If you pick included features, that doesn't necessarily cost anything, but there's still so many selections and choices to really make it feel like it's your own. And another thing that was really cool too is since all of the selections are there, you've got samples of everything. One cool part about it is, Jesse's like pull in a carpet sample to put next to your laminate plank flooring next to your cabinet so you can kind of help visualize the end process. Jesse, I know some people think that or say that they're very visual people. Do you feel like having all the samples there, do you think most people are able to envision the final product?
Oh yeah, definitely. Usually at the very end of the showroom, I have literally every sample that they have chosen up to that point. We put them on these shelves in my office, and you can kind of see how the entire house is going to be laid out and look. We don't do things like 3D renderings and stuff like that, just because, we've got the actual samples physically in front of you, so you can see those and how they interact with other elements of your home. So. It is kind of fun when you get to that point at the end of the appointment when all the samples are there and it really, really starts to come to life at that moment.
That's so cool. And then lastly, are there any major like do's or don'ts that you would like to instill upon a future client?
From a design standpoint,
Yeah, from a design studio standpoint.
I always tell people like we're here to focus on you and make this house absolutely yours. So I will say I'm from the design community. There's a couple of trends we're following right now. We're seeing again a lot of the white kitchens. It's timeless, it's clean, it's elegant. It will never go out of style, but we're also seeing a lot of wood tones being reintroduced back into things. So we've got a lot of really, really great cabinet lineups. All of our sustainable wood laminate flooring that we offer are level 2. We've got a lot of options of that. We're seeing kind of less gray. I do get a lot of clients come in and they say, hey, we're sick of the gray. We don't want to see any of it in our home. And everybody's unique. So that's the fun and the beauty of it. I would say a big do. Definitely in kind of preparation, think about how you're going to live and function in the house. I love how you mentioned electrical and how we have the ability to, change and add things around. And a lot of people don't think about that. So absolutely do think about how you are going to act within your home before you come in. And that will help out with things like electrical. Um, but yeah, that would be kind of I really don't have any do's or don'ts for design, just because like I said, it is a very personal thing, and I try to let people lead as much as they can. If something is just absolutely terrible, I mean, I will be honest and tell you, but that rarely happens. Most people that come in have a very, very good sense of style. And they see a lot that are out in the community in our showcase homes and our models as well, and they want to replicate that.
Mhm. For sure. Yeah. And I also like to remind our clients too that, you specifically have a large background in design studio, kitchen, bathroom remodels, and those kinds of things. Like you are the design eye, you're the creative part of this process. And, if they're ever wary about what selections they're making or like, oh, is this going to be in style or is this going to have good resale value? Like, I definitely trust that you know those things and you'll help the client along with those selections. So, anyways, that wraps it up for today. But I really appreciate your time, Jesse. And thank you for giving us a little peek behind the curtain at what to expect at the design studio. Thanks, everybody.